Yeah, it's very hard. The stress, emotional and physical, but from the get-go of COVID, we all stepped in. We had a husband and a wife here. I took care of the husband for weeks and weeks. I was able to make a relationship with him before he got really sick, and then taking care of him once he was sick. Ultimately passing, that was really hard. Got very close with the family. They actually asked me to come to the viewing, so I was able to do that. Every single nurse on this unit makes you more appreciative and surprised at how much we can handle. We've had nurses that will literally stay over past their shift off the clock to make sure that patients aren't passing alone. I am very proud to be a part of this team, very proud. You know, you become more of a family when you go through things like this.
It's amazing to see them leave when they've been on the unit for days, weeks, requiring oxygen, and then they can get up and just be discharged and go home to their family. It is amazing. We never really know what we're coming into. We started off some days we had 2 COVID patients, and then like today walked in and there's 30 on the floor. We sit with them at the bedside, talk to them, and they share their fears with us, and we try to keep them calm. We go up to 5 patients on this floor, so it's a lot to gown in, gown out of every single room and go in there to see the patients and bring them everything they need. It can get very overwhelming sometimes, but every single one of my coworkers on this floor will gown up and get in the room with me if I need any help at all. We couldn't do it without each other. All of us work really hard together. We definitely have to count on each other. I love this floor.
One thing that I would really like people to know is this isn't our job. This is our calling, and we enjoy what we do. Many times the patients are intubated so they can't speak. So we're doing the speaking to the family, and when they start letting their feelings out, they feel like they're your friend. I feel the same way because they chose me to share that personal information with, so the feeling's mutual. This is what I look at every day to get my shift off to a good start. This one down here is from patient's family, so it was just sending me their thank yous, and this one meant a lot to me. These are just thank yous from my coworkers. They gave me a card that had a bunch of inspiring messages on it. It's my inspiration every day. We very much enjoy what we do, and the fact that we are taking care of patients in a pandemic hasn't changed that. If anything, it's reinforced it to a lot of people. If I would have been able to look into the future and seen the pandemic coming, I 1000% still would have become a nurse so that I could be here right now. Absolutely.
I started working EMS when I was 18 years old, and just always being able to have a good understanding of how to help people. The reason I came to Hurley actually was because as working on the ambulance, this had the best staff in the ER that I had run into as my years as a paramedic, and I really enjoyed the teaching that they did here. You know, when we have critical patients or post-arrest or traumas, we definitely get moving a lot quicker, but a good majority of it is getting lab work and getting, you know, EKGs and addressing the patient's needs. Doing the job that we do, we always have our individuals that we can go to and we rely on because they're senior nurses and they're more experienced and they do really good work. So I remember we had a very specific incident with a young child. She said, "You're my security blanket. I want you to go upstairs with me when we take him upstairs to pick you because I'm kind of nervous about him." So just to know that, you know, not only do I have that respect for that person, but kind of they have that respect for me as well. We have each other's backs and we can together get through this.
Nursing is hard work. It is hard work. It's mentally exhausting, it's physically exhausting, it's emotionally exhausting. You have to have that compassion and that caring heart, otherwise you're not going to make it. It was definitely a trying time this past year, especially last spring, but it also kind of brought everybody together too. Last year there was like so much help from the community and everyone was kind of like rooting for us. It kind of just gave you a sense of hope for the future, that you would make it through it, because some days felt really dark. The nurses play a pivotal role in like making sure that the communication stays between the family and the patient. When they're reaching that critical point of like, this person will probably end up intubated, it is hard because all that they have to communicate is an iPad and that's it. It's a different level of care, and it's exciting and it's exhilarating, and it's also really exhausting, but I'm still here 10 years later, so I guess I must be built for it.
The compassion and the empathy to provide that care and be there for somebody. We work really well together and we keep things going. The world as we knew it has changed. It's changed our lives. You know, wearing a mask, social distancing is, put a strain on families. It's put a strain on the kids. We do a lot of different things to take their mind off what they're going through and make it easier for their stay. A lot of distraction, a lot of play. We have video games and things we can take in. We have movies. Some kids will even, before COVID, bring to the nurse's station and, let them see us answer the call light. Just the fact that I'm able to be here at their most vulnerable, most unexpected moment, and to touch somebody and be there for them, to see a smile on their face and to help them go through it and get better, that's what keeps me going.